physical, he failed it. And I said, well, I'm not going. And they said, au contraire, we'll have youth in 3 months now. And I said, I just barely turned 18. They said, sorry. So I guess I was blessed enough to have enough musical talent. I went to Wichita Falls, Texas, and auditioned for the Air Force Band and was accepted. My first assignment was in Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. That's Hampton, Newport News, Virginia. When I arrived there, I was 18 years old, no car. So it was on a Saturday when I arrived. Well, Sunday, I decided to get up and go to services on the base. Any of you that's ever been in the military and went to worship services on the base, let's just say they have a little bit to be desired. So when I got back, I got the phone book there in the band hall and called 2 or 3 churches and told them, hey, I'm 18 years old, I don't have a vehicle, I'm stationed at Langley, and I'm looking for a church. Well, the bad thing is I got directions from all of them, but I don't know how to get there, and I'm on the hoof. And I didn't get an offer for a ride, so I kind of grinned and bared it for a while and attended services there on the Air Force Base. And then I got where I was getting kind of not happy with it. A few months later, a young couple moved in. He was also a trombone player, and we got to talking, and I found out he was a member of the Lord's church too. Oh yeah, we go to church out here. I said, all right, I got a ride. So they come and picked me up. We went into the church building, and I walked into the auditorium, and there sat a big baby grand piano and seats over here for the choir, and I'm sitting there, okay, not what I was expecting. So, of course, sat through worship service. Believe it or not, the sermon was good, but I didn't sing, and I guess the preacher noticed that. And he said, well, aren't you in the band with Leslie? And I said, yes, I am. He said, you know music? And I said, yes, I do. You didn't sing. And I said, God created my voice better than that piano. I'm not going to sing with that piano. I know it was kind of tacky, but I was very disgruntled at the time. And obviously I didn't attend again. Well, obviously my faith was doing this downhill slide. Well, at the time the military decided that there was only like 5 or 6 of us living in the barracks, single men, that they decided to give us separate rations, quarters allowance, which 4 of us decided to move in together, rent a home, so we could live. Well, just so happened that 2 of these guys at night played in rock and roll bands. And like the story Mike was telling you, here comes sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So I got involved with the rock and roll bands in the Virginia Beach areas and played in bands and rock and roll. I met some new friends, whiskey, gin, rum, beer, whatever give you a buzz. And even though I was underage, I was in the band, so here. You know, you're in the band, you can have it. Well, me and those, I'll call them adult beverages, got very friendly in those years. I got out of the military in 1970. My drinking habit cooled it. Then I was home here and I had a car. I was going to Central State College then and working at nights to pay my way through school. And I just bought a new Honda motorcycle. And I used to go to Holly's Drive-In for dinner at nights down on Sheridan and Western. And this good-looking gal pulled up in a 71 Chevelle next to me. At that time, my hair was on my shoulders, and I had a leather jacket on. I looked over at her, and I recognized her because she grew up the street from me, but I didn't know her. I said, you want to go for a ride? Well, 1973, she married me, so I guess it worked. Well, Shirley and I we were doing very well. We had a pretty new home, had a brand new bass boat, had my motorcycle still. I had a brand new Ranchero GT. I customized the truck. We had all the material things everybody could want. And in 1978, Michelle was born. Well, of course, Shirley had to quit work. And then all of a sudden, the cash flow went, pfft. So Ron had to go find a new job to make more money. And of course, I was going to become a millionaire so we could just live high on the hog. I took a job with an equipment company where I traveled the whole United States selling equipment. And my travels, I had to go at least every other week. I was gone all week. And during that time, of course, you're in a hotel room, you're by yourself, you're lonely. So I remembered my buddies in Virginia Beach that I could sit there and drink and talk to them, and they answered all my problems. So my drinking started again. And this continued for quite a while, and it continued to get worse and worse and worse on my trips. And it got to the point when I flew so much and traveled so much and gone so much that the airlines liked me so well that they comped me and put me in first class almost every time. Not only was the food better, the booze was free. And of course, I took advantage of that. Well, I recall flying in one night, and yes, I was intoxicated. And I looked at my daughter. I'm sorry. And my wife. And I realized that I was destroying my family. The next week, I had to go to San Diego. I flew out Monday, got out there and got to the hotel. When I checked in, it said, "Oh, we have a manager's reception tonight, free drinks from 5 to 7. And I said, "Bingo, I'm there." So I sat there and enjoyed their free cocktails. I went up to the street. I went to an Applebee's and ate supper, and of course had a couple more drinks. And in California, they sold liquor in their grocery stores. So I went to a grocery store, I don't know what it was, whatever, and I bought me a bottle of rum. And I took it back to my room. I'm sorry, folks, this is hard. I made me a drink. I looked at it. And I went and looked in the mirror in the bedroom, and I said, "What are you doing to yourself? And what are you doing to your family? You wasn't brought up this way." I went in the bedroom. I got on my knees. I buried my face in the bed. I cried my eyes out, and I prayed to God to help me. After about 20 minutes or so of prayer, I got up. I went and looked in the mirror, and it's just like all of a sudden I went, "You're sober." And I was. I looked over at that rum bottle. It was rum. I immediately poured